Okay, looks like we got everybody. I'm going to the March 22nd meeting of the Sykesville Historic District Commission. I'm going to read my opening statement first. The qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff of the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the town and are hereby made part of each and every application heard tonight. Guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made part of each and every application. Each application heard tonight is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. The Historic District Design Guidelines have been adopted by the town of Sykesville in accordance with Article 6B, 8.06A of the Maryland Code and follow the recommendations of the United States Secretary of the Interior. Sykesville Historic District Commission follows Robert's Rule of Order with the exception that the chairperson votes. Okay, let's see. First item on the agenda is application 2022-05 for a fence at 7565 Main Street, Beck's Restaurant. So if you want to proceed with that, we'll have you describe what you're doing.
Basically, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see you about once a week. But what's your name?
I'm Brian.
Brian. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
And last name, just for the record?
Wilbur, W-I-L-B-U-R.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Just want to get that for the record.
No, you're fine. So in the back of the restaurant, which is everyone's pretty much their main entrance, there's a little fenced area that has 4 tables. We wanted to extend the fence to the edge of the building and then back towards the building. So adding about, I think, 17 feet of fencing. This is where the tables were during COVID. And now we have to have everything done by the book as far as, having all the tables fenced in and stuff like that. So we're just adding a little bit of fencing and then a gate there as well. It'll be the same style fencing that's already there. It's about hip high looking.
Train, sorry.
Comes the train.
I'm right across the street from it. I guess I can mute it.
Gary, do you want to bring up the sketch or the site plan of where the fence is?
Do you want me to talk it through?
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, so the new patio is. Oh, wait a minute. Is that on the? Guess the west side.
It is
The back?
Yes, that would be the east side. Well, yeah, the back of the restaurant, yes. The non-main street side. So you see where it says original patio seating, there's where the 4 tables are now. And the metal fence extends 31.6 feet. And then it goes towards the building. We wanted to extend it 9 feet 2 inches to the edge of the building and then bring it back to the building 18 feet. They said when we got an estimate of how much of a cost, they said adding 17 feet of fencing. So I'm not sure where they got that number, but this is, well, maybe because they're taking some from, that's where they got the number. So they're going to take the 9.6 feet right there and unfold it to the 9.2 feet. And then I guess they're using part of the old fence.
Brian, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Does the fencing go past the building or
No.
it's up to the edge of the building?
Yeah, so we're only going to, right now it doesn't go quite to the edge of the building. We're going to bring it to the edge of the building and then bring it up. It won't go past the edge of the building. So it won't interfere with that walkway that goes to Main Street.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
So that utility area is outside of the building then?
Yes, so there's a wood plank wall, if you will. It's about, I want to say about 7 feet tall, maybe 6-7 feet tall. And that just hides the AC units.
Okay.
I say
So then
utility. Okay, I'm sorry.
Is there wood plank along the side of the utility area also?
Yeah, it's a
Currently?
wood plank door. It's like on a, it's actually, it matches the wood and it's actually on
Okay.
a wheel. So when it makes it easier to open.
Okay,
That would remain the same. And that has a latch, and can be locked.
I'm still trying to orient myself. I'm sorry. The utility area I'm thinking of is like in front of the curbside pickup number 5 on that side. Is
That's
that what we're
that's
talking?
the opposite side.
That's the opposite side.
So that's not that. So oh yeah, this is good actually.
there we
okay,
go,
gotcha.
there we go.
Yeah. So
That's
if you're,
the
the curb side's
okay.
to the left.
All right.
Yeah.
Now
So
I'm
that's
good.
like okay.
So that won't be extending into the parking area at all?
No, it's not coming. The fence. That
It's
part
to
of the
the
fence,
right.
yeah, that's staying where it is. We're just continuing it down to the edge of the building and then bringing it back over to the building.
Oh, okay.
And there's seating there now.
Well, outside we had our table stored there, but we're not using it. The
Okay,
tables that you see, those high tops, they're just there because we've left them there over the winter. We're not seating there because we're not allowed to. The only tables that we're seating currently are the 4 that are inside the fence. You can see
Got it.
through relatively.
Uh, So it'll be the same fence. You're just
Yeah,
gonna move it up.
I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
No, it's the same
So you're
exact
not
fence.
you're not serving the high tops because you can't, is it?
Yeah, well, because they're not there. So during COVID, we had like that one area that went out into the parking lot, and we got permission and by the liquor board and the health department. We showed them the drawings and everything.
Yeah,
But now that all of that's is over with, as far as the relaxed rules, we had. I think it was starting at the end of November of last year. We had to, you can only seat outside inside of a fenced area.
Mm,
Right.
So they're being stored there basically for the winter. We haven't moved them to a garage or to a storage facility because when we make this, if we're able to do this, we're not sure exactly how to be set up, if we're going to use those high tops at all, or use the other tables that are over there. We're not going to use them all with the space that we get. So we wanted to play with it and see which tables would fit the best, basically.
so the same rule applies for the high tops that are outside the fence right here?
Yeah, so we can't seat them currently because they're outside of the fence.
Okay.
They're just there because they were there from the fall. Scott hadn't taken them away yet.
I started to talk to you, I'd look to see if you're there.
It seems pretty cut and dry. They're just extending the fence on the one side and relocating the portion of the fence like Brian said.
Right.
Yeah.
So all we're really doing is approving the 18-foot of fence and relocation of the one portion of fence on the right.
Exactly.
And it's maintaining the same style that's previously approved, so I see no reason not to approve it.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions or discussion about it? All right. Want me to make a motion or want me to do it? Okay. Well, all right. I'll move that we approve application 2022-05, a fence to be extended around the seating area in the rear and side of the 7565 Main Street, Beck's Restaurant. And then it complies with our guidelines. Do we have a second?
I'll second
Second.
that motion.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries, so you're good to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Scott, all right.
All right, we'll move to the second agenda item, which is 2022-06. In addition, at 7618 Main Street, the Sykesville Station Inn. And Dell and Bob and Kim are here to represent them, so why don't you, if you want to go through the explanations of what you're doing, and Carrie, I guess, could bring up some diagrams, might help.
Sure. What we are hoping to do is basically add a very small addition onto the end of the kitchen. The kitchen, for those who don't know, on the train station is the wooden area on the west end of the building that was built in about 1989. We're looking to put a small storage space onto the back side of that, of the kitchen, so that you'd be able to walk out of the existing kitchen into this about 160 square foot room, which will allow us to relocate some of the refrigeration and freezer and ice maker units from the kitchen into that space, so that we'll be able to extend our line, which will allow us to do some different things with our menu, to expand our menu and do a couple of things like that. This addition would not be visible from parking lot, would not be visible from Main Street. If you're on the other side of the building looking back, you would be able to see it, but otherwise it won't be seen. It's on the back side.
Okay. So we were just from your plan submission, I guess we were looking, it looked like you had some vinyl soffit, and we had, at least I had a question about what the soffit would be and the gutters.
That is not vinyl. That's actually going to be, it's wood.
Oh.
I don't know the actual term for it, but if you look at the side of the existing kitchen now, the front of it that you see from the parking lot and from Main Street, it's going to look exactly like that on the backside.
Like T111, right?
Same materials.
Yes, exactly. If in this drawing, you can see on the backside behind it, the existing kitchen behind is where the stairs are showing. So that's the existing part of the kitchen. So this will just come off of the side of that. None of it will attach to any part of the historic building. It'll all be completely attached to the addition from 1989.
Okay. And the roof, is it going to be sloped and all that, or flat, or
No, it's going to be a shed roof.
shed roof? And what type of it, what will you be using? Same?
Well, there's slate on the main building itself. We're not going to match that. We're going to match the asphalt roofing on the kitchen now.
Yeah, that'd be good, I think.
Is there a plan or is it just an elevation?
We submitted plans as well.
Yeah, there's a site plan. There's. I personally like the asphalt shingles because that and the 1989 roof will be differentiated from the original slate roof in the old building, historical building, which is what one of our recommendations would be, so.
Looks like it goes directly on top of the property line. Is there a setback requirement for that?
Along that property line, there's a wrought iron fence existing. We were going to come right up to that wrought iron fencing that's been there for, I don't know how long that fencing's been there. The entire, to the right of the addition that's shown on this plan is the decking area. We call it the platform. It's a covered wood deck that is seating area currently.
Yeah.
There's a wall built right there. Currently, if you look from the covered wood area back towards where the addition is going to be, you'll see a doorway and a wall that's the same type of material that we are going to use planning to use on the side of the rest of the building. But there's a door, you'll open the door, and right now you look out to nothing. We just wanted to enclose that room, so when you open it up, you'll be walking into the kitchen area.
Harry, can you scroll down to the photo? And Deanne and Kim, are you basically just going to enclose that porch that's there?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, you'll see some of the buckle roof right there. That's gonna come back. So you see the doorway and the back of that wall that I was just referring to. That's gonna be that wall, and we're gonna come out to, on the very far left towards the bottom, you see a telephone pole. It's gonna come to about 3 or 4 inches away from that. And then the existing stairs there are going to be removed, and they're going to extend the flooring. They're going to actually redo the entire flooring. They're going to take the roofing above it's the vinyl roof, the awning that goes over the top of the platform now, and then just make a shed roof. And the outside of all of that space will be exactly the wood that you see to the left there of the existing kitchen,
Okay.
right there.
Are you gonna need another storage area? You have a lot of storage out here.
Well,
Just
what we need
curious.
to what we actually are looking forward to doing is moving mop sink, ice machine, and 3 refrigeration units that are currently on the other side of that wall.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to be able to extend our line, and we'll be able to do some things with the menu. You know, a lot more seafood. We'll be able to just really expand the menu into really what our vision is for more of a fine dining in a casual space,
Yeah.
you know, motif.
That'll be a walk-in refrigeration unit or
No, they're
No.
all reach. They're
or
currently,
reach-ins?
yep. There's a 3-door and a 2-door reach-in refrigerator and a 2-door reach-in freezer. Those
Okay.
will just be relocated out into this.
Or
new
just
space.
relocating them out there. That'll be
Correct.
good. All right.
And Chad, to go back to your question real quick, we have already brought this before Planning Commission and got approval of the site plan for it.
Yeah, I was just concerned about
It's not-
the setbacks from like the telephone pole, the property line, all the zoning requirements.
Yep,
The-
it's
the pro-
already,
the,
already been
Wrought iron
approved.
fence.
Okay.
Yeah, wrought iron fence and the telephone pole will not be removed at all. They won't be touched. They'll just be within those parameters.
Sure. So can you go back to the elevation? Is there any access doors from the exterior to get to this storage? Is it all interior?
There's the stairway to go out. Right now, that we got approval to put a cement pad down at the bottom of the steps that are shown there, and fenced in for our smoker units.
Yeah, I remember that.
So those
Yeah.
are just going to be moved out. So you'll step down onto that pad, and you'll be inside the fenced-in area, which has a gate that goes out to the parking lot. And then from the kitchen side, there'll be a doorway to come into that unit. And then there'll be another door that goes out into the platform area where customer seating takes place. This is looking at it from the east. I'm sorry, from the west.
In the west.
I see where it says the vinyl soffit, Norm, that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I guess that's one thing that we would probably want them to change from vinyl siding and a wood soffit material.
Yeah, that's would be our guideline. Is that gonna, looks like it's,
It's actually, these plans also say metal roof.
Yeah,
but
they do.
That was an adjustment.
okay.
So we could definitely comply with wooden fascia soffit.
What is currently on the roof of the kitchen?
It's asphalt shingle.
Okay.
Asphalt shingles.
Okay.
So I would assume we'd have to mark up a couple things on here. We'd go from metal roof to asphalt shingles, and we strike the vented vinyl soffit and make it a wood soffit in that location.
Yeah, I think that's the only changes we'd be looking for. Are there, is there a gutter or a,
There's aluminum fascia and gutter, if required.
okay. So any, what would be, have we gotten far enough on the details about what type of gutter that we're covering, whether it be, we did want a shiny materials, what I'm aiming for here.
I'm sorry, did I miss a question?
Shine.
Yeah,
Not
no,
shiny.
the gutters or the, I guess there's a drain pipe, with that, the aluminum, with, what, is that going to be like a muted color? We don't want a shiny aluminum, basically. We're
Okay.
non-reflective is, I guess, the term we use, so. So that, what would you, did you have anything in mind for that?
I hadn't thought to that detail, but we can go non-reflective. That's coming off the existing vinyl roofing all the way along from that'll basically line up with this, give or take. It comes all the way down through the entire length of the building, and it doesn't have a gutter. It just actually rolls off of the roof onto the train track area. On the corner of this, you'll see on the far left there, the corner is the existing building that we're attaching to, and then it shows an outline of where that telephone pole is. There's gutters currently along the edge of that building that run north and south, but on the shed roof that we would be installing over here, I don't think there would be any gutters. It would just roll off the edge of it, just like the rest of the length of the platform.
So you're gonna strike the gutter from the plan then, is that what you're saying, or?
It says
Okay.
if required. That was just something the engineer put in there.
Ah.
I
That's
had
beyond our purview, that's up to you. Only if you do put it, then we'd want it non-reflective. And probably to match in style to the other one, but. Well, if you're not gonna use the gutters, then we can put that into the approval.
Okay.
Does that say vinyl railing?
No.
Vinyl
Vinyl.
sleeves and railing.
Vinyl sleeves
It says
railing.
vinyl.
They have-
It's going to be a wooden.
It's gonna be wooden.
Sorry for all these. These were done about 8 months ago, and
Okay.
So those stairs and railings aren't going to be visible from the street because it's fenced in, correct?
no.
So
Okay,
In fact, that the landing there will be inside of a 6-foot fence that's in place currently.
you won't see any of it.
You won't see those at all.
okay. Any other discussion or questions? No, okay. We go back to the gallery view then, okay? Here we go. Thank you. All right, does someone want to make a motion to approve this, or? Looks like you're defaulting to me again. Okay. All right, I'll move that we approve application 2022-06, the addition at 7618 Main Street. And the plans will be approved with the provision that, as discussed, the soffit material will be wooden. Shingles are to be asphalt to match the existing ones over the kitchen. If there are gutters, it'll be non-reflective aluminum gutters, but they're also discussed not having the gutters. And wood railing, not vinyl railing on the entrance, outside entrance. Anyone have any additions to that? Corrections or anything? Okay, have a second?
Second.
Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion's approved.
Thank you very
and
much.
we're ready to go.
All
All
right.
right, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. All right. Okay. So I guess, Carrie, we had the other, we had the, I don't know if anyone else was aware of this, but the Springfield Avenue building, the Dunright building, there's a new sign up there that's non-compliant that they installed. It's a, was it band box, band room? What's it?
Something like that, yeah.
I know I went by it.
I know our new planner, Kevin, he called the building owner and talked to them yesterday. And I believe today he drafted up a letter and it's on Joe's desk right now. So we are actively working on that for y'all.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a, I don't know, it seems like about 4 feet high and I don't know how many, 8 feet long. It's really big and it's like it's interior lighting, backlighted, which is not in compliance. So the only backlighted sign we have is the physical therapy building, and that was predated, it was grandfathered in. So if somebody changes that, that won't be there either. So, but I know it's an expensive, looks like an expensive sign, so I'm sorry they got that far with it for coming in to see us. So that's in the works, I guess. So we'll probably be hearing from them at the next meeting. So, and Carrie had a proposal for the next meeting. As she's, her wedding date kind of planning and date and wedding, honeymoon, all that else seems to stretch over the
Yes,
meeting.
yes. So
22nd, right?
I want to apologize. I won't be here. I won't even be in the state on our normally scheduled next meeting. So I was hoping to propose, what did I say, May 10th?
I think it was May 10th.
So that's a Thursday. Is that a Thursday or a Tuesday? Hold on. I'm getting all my
Tuesday.
dates confused now.
It's a
That's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So that'll give me a full week to get any documents to y'all and give the right amount of
Catch up on all the work that wasn't done.
2 weeks off is more than I've ever taken before, so it's gonna be a lot of catch up, I think.
Really?
So
You don't do it often.
hopefully this is the only time I get married, but
That's it.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
May 10th at 7 p.m. If that
Right.
works for you all.
Fine with me. All
Did we
right.
get any feedback on the firehouse? That was supposed to be on this docket.
I didn't hear anything from them about the windows or the awning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carrie, do we have minutes to approve?
We do not, so it was a lot for me to wade through. And I realized Wednesday that I probably didn't do as good of a job initially writing them as I could have. So I'm gonna redo them and you'll have them for the next meeting.
Okay. Are there any other items?
I have two things. I want to ask you all, this is the only commission that's no longer meeting or that's still not meeting in person. I want to find out from you if you're interested in meeting in person.
Well, for me,
Yes.
Some people are.
I am.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I'm in Huntsville, Alabama right now, so
Oh.
it all depends on my job, right? So what I'm site visiting and stuff. So if I'm able to, sure, no problem.
We'll just have to come down there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, you don't.
Nobody can.
It's pouring down rain right now, so
Ah, never mind.
Bree, do we
I'm
have,
probably-
do we
I'm
have,
probably the only one not comfortable with it, but I'm just old. We have health risks in our family and I'm still a little leery. But I guess we'll have to see how it goes.
can we do a mixed meeting, right? Can we still have Zoom and still have people in place as well?
We do still have the setup for that, yes. We just have to, we would have to know well in advance to give the CMC, the Carroll Media Center, some heads up because it's a little more work on their end. So if we do go to in-person and you want a Zoom meeting, we would have to know at least a week in advance.
Okay.
When you say that, you mean like if you want a mixed Zoom and
Yes,
in-place
yeah.
meeting?
So like if in Chad's case, if he knew he was going to be in Alabama for the meeting, if he let me know the Tuesday before, I could let the CMC know and we could do the integrated mixed Zoom and in-person meeting.
Or if Norm's not comfortable coming in,
Or
he
if
could
Norm.
still
Mhm.
lead the meeting from home, and then we could, you know, if Anna and I want to come in, or Jenny wanted to come in, or anybody wanted to come in, we could come
Yeah, I
in.
mean, I'd love to come in. I'll just be a wait and see here and see how the
Sure.
transaction rate goes, the case rate, and if there's a new variant charging around, that's those types of things. It looks like we're on the right path now, so I'm hoping we can get back to normal.
That was the only caveat I had was they keep talking about new variants and new possibilities. And
Yeah, so more.
And I will say, if we do go back to in-person and the case rates go up and we decide, no, it's not for us right now, we can go back to all Zoom if that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, if we can be flexible.
I have a question about the Zoom meetings. I know you have it marked off. I mean, generally when I do Zoom meetings, I'm allowed to mark stuff up. You have that tool kind of shut off. Is there a possibility if we do Zooms in the future that we can mark things up on the screen if there's a markup required?
I think so. I'll have to look. I just put on whatever the security settings that the media center told me to use. I know at first
Okay.
there were people doing like Zoom bombing and stuff like that, so we were really
No.
trying to deter that.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to mark stuff up on the screen if I had any markups or anything.
Yeah, we should be able to do that. I'll look into if I can turn that on and leave some of the other safety stuff in place.
Okay.
and then if nobody else has anything, I just want to let everybody know that yesterday I attended the Planning Commission meeting that Warfield was attending to answer questions. What their application was to change the zoning of the planned employment center, to change it to allow for more housing, but with questions that the Planning Commission had submitted and the responses, the Planning Commission told the applicant, the Warfield Development, that as it was applied, they're not going to approve it. What they suggested Warfield do is to come up with an alternative plan. So basically all the tax credits that they received are specifically for parcel D, which is the historic buildings. And then on top of that, they wanted to infill the rest of the parcels with more housing. So the Planning Commission told the applicant that that was too much. It would probably not go past them. And they might want to reconsider what their application is to be. So the Warfield Development is going to go back and revisit what they're wanting and make some adjustments to reduce the residential infill way less than what they suggested or what they proposed.
Is there an opportunity? I watched that whole thing. I saw you guys there. So is there an opportunity for public comment on any of that?
Absolutely. So after the application is either approved or denied, the planning commission submits it to the mayor and town council. At that point, that's where we would ask for a public comment to say, hey, what does the public want? Do you agree with the application? Do you agree with the planning commission's yay or nay? What is your, because even though the planning commission can give us their opinion, they can say, yes, it fits the comprehensive plan, or no, it doesn't. It comes back to us, and depending on what the community wants, we can either agree with the planning commission because the community wants it, or we can overrule what the planning commission wants because the community wants X. So yes, definitely.
The question I was begging to ask on that, and I saw Stacy chomping at the bit for this as well, but the question I wanted to ask is, I remember on the original PEC, there was a requirement for the historic buildings to be preserved first before the townhouses were built, right? And they never fell through. That fell through.
Correct.
My fear is that the same thing's going to happen then the second go around when this other addition or renovations occur. And it sounded to them like it wasn't financially feasible unless the development for the residential happened. So they're relying on the residential aspects to happen first as well, to have the funds available to renovate the buildings, which is not what they agreed upon in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And I
100%.
never heard that statement. I never heard that statement the entire
Aren't they in
time.
violation right now of their agreement with us? So I don't know why we'd even hear anything before any commission until they are not in violation of their initial agreement.
That's a conversation that we're having aside, but being that they've submitted the application, we can't deny not viewing it.
Right.
But in turn, there's other conversations about them in default of their agreement. Yes, absolutely. They're, I think,
It's
1.5
bad faith.
million. Yes.
It's bad faith. So why would you believe that they're going to do anything that they say they're going to do when they haven't done so thus far?
Yeah, I'm also wondering when this commission should interact also, because we're gonna have to approve the buildings and the layout and all that. And I just remember what we went through with the townhouses about the site views and all that type of thing. We made sure that the townhouse had this nice view of the buildings, and if they start putting up housing everywhere, it's gonna block them. And it all goes,
I'm not
I
sure if
can't see
anybody
that-
else was.
I
I'm not
can't
sure if
see
anybody
that.
else. Okay,
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, I can't see that the public, especially the people that live there now, they're gonna come out in force because they were promised something that they wouldn't get if all of those houses were approved.
Generally looking at it from the Historic District Commission aspect, the rendering they showed last night of the infills would make everybody, if no one saw it, I mean, it doesn't fit the historic character of the development, right? And so that's the first thing that, as a commission, we need to look at, right? And so that's the first thing. If it does get approval and the infill is allowed, that's the first thing we're going to have to look at, really.
Absolutely. So right now the application is for a change in zoning.
Yep.
So change in zoning doesn't come before us, but if the
Yep.
change of zoning was approved and the additional housing and the changes to the historical building to increase the residential, it would definitely come to us, and we would have to approve that prior to any type of construction.
Let me ask you something about, I don't want to get too long-winded on this, but their market study that they had provided saying that it wasn't feasible for commercial construction or retail spaces, right? So, and maybe Carrie or Anna, one of you guys can answer this. I thought, is my understanding, there at one point there was a list of people who are trying to get downtown, and there wasn't enough space for shops downtown, right?
They're still there.
If that's the case, that to me, that defines that space over there as a viable option for, if you had first floor retail spaces, small retail shops, they could expand the footprint of a walkable community that would have shops on the first floor. And so I'm not sure if the town has done a market study in the past, or how relevant their market study is, or how do we gauge their market study? Because market studies can be manipulated in many different ways.
Yeah.
Well, they turned away people, according to Jonathan. There were a lot of proposals that
Yeah, that's what
they
he told
turned
me too.
away, that they could have already been in the process of doing that, that would have fit well within
Right.
the original design of that space.
Yeah, and Chad's point is, but it hit me last week too. I thought, oh, we just went through that master plan, and they wanted to put stuff all over our green space in this town to allow more retail, and like up around the public works area and, these little roads up there and in front of the townhouse and all sorts of places. And I said, why are we doing that? We have, retail space across the road there that we're trying to tie into the town. And, so I just.
Well, the other
just some of
issue for
these-
me is you're creating a space that nobody else in town would have any reason to go to. If it's all residential, it's kind of
Right.
isolated because there's nothing there for anyone else in the town to go over there for. And it's a real waste of that space.
Yeah.
It is a really unique area, and we came up with a good plan.
All the questions that you've asked, we as the mayor and town council have asked over and over and over again. And it's to me, it's common sense. A good community has a nice mix of residential, commercial, and retail. That makes a fantastic community. We have an open space over there that you can build to your heart's desire, and they just want to build houses. And
Yep.
to reiterate, those tax credits that they have are specific just to the historical buildings. So they don't need to build those houses, or they don't need to build housing. If they need to sell parcels A, B, and C for revenue, it doesn't necessarily have to be to developers, a housing developer. It could be a commercial developer.
Right. Yeah, I'm afraid they would
We will
build
see.
the houses and walk away, it's.
Well,
Right.
so if you look at the density level, right, and how many houses are they? 1,800 houses or something in that level they're proposing in that area.
Yeah.
Residents.
The residents, 1,800 residents, 500 plus housing.
Look at the crowding and the density of the restaurants and shops that we have already. Beck's,
Yep.
Station, everything else. Add 1,800 residents to that location.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
makes no sense. Interestingly enough, I did get an email from, what's his face over there?
Jonathan?
Sean?
No, the
Steve?
Steve.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to me.
Go for it. Go
I said,
See what he
okay,
in
says.
the conversation.
let's set it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was in Ohio not too long ago, visiting my son who was at Kent State at the time. And there's a historic community fairly close to there. And they had this shopping area that was right outside this historic old town. And they had built the shopping area with the look of a historic 1920s kind of a vibe to all the buildings. And there were contemporary shops, there were restaurants, there were kind of facilities that just added to the town. It was beautiful.
Yeah, there's one up by
Right.
Lambertville, New Jersey like that too. With the
When I
another
look at
one.
that space over there, that's what I envision. Why?
Yeah.
Why
You
can't
know,
we do?
Where I'm staying at right now in Huntsville, Alabama, it's called New Providence, and it's a new urbanist development. And I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but it has old looking historic buildings with a central courtyard, and there's restaurants on every first floor in this area. And they have either apartments upstairs or businesses upstairs, and it's thriving. People just come here and that would, if we had restaurants in those historic buildings on the first floors,
Yeah.
it would boom. People would come from Columbia, Ellicott City, Mount Airy, everywhere to have dinner in that location. And then
Absolutely.
have residents above, or even some modified senior living or assisted living, not assisted living, but independent living. That was a
Yeah.
big conversation last night too, which I was cringing about. So
Yeah.
workforce housing.
Yeah,
So that was the update. They're going to come back to us or go back to the planning commission with modifications and see if the planning commission will accept those modifications to amend the zoning. Once that gets done, it comes to the mayor and town council, and then we'll have public comment. So it will be definitely advertised, public comment. Come all, say everything that you'd like to say.
And if anybody has anything that they want to write in about, our email address is town, TOWN, @sykesville.net, and you're welcome to email in now. Even we're already getting emails in about it. So town@sykesville.net.
How
Thank
does
you.
that work for us since we're on the commission for the historic district? We can be open about our comments as well?
Absolutely. You just have to say that you are a member of the historic district or
Okay.
the historic commission.
okay.
Full disclosure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fun times.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It
that
continues.
meeting is on the Sykesville website and the planning site. I've missed it. I'm really sorry. I've got
It's on Facebook as well.
Facebook.
Facebook and YouTube is where you can watch
YouTube.
that back.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you have 2 hours to spare.
I do actually, so nice to be retired.
It gets pretty heated and good. I loved it. It was good entertainment.
Yeah, I watched the other one, but I didn't see this one.
When you go to
Yeah.
Facebook, I'm not very techie savvy. When you go to Facebook, where do you go?
It's just, it will have a bulletin board on there that says when the event's coming. And once it goes live, all you have to do is click on it and then you can watch it.
Yeah,
So if you just go to Sykesville Planning and Zoning, I think it is,
Okay.
in the search engine, it will come up Town of Sykesville and then it'll just
Mm.
pop up on the screen.
okay.
It's real easy.
And I can send you all a link to our YouTube. We have a playlist on there of all of our planning commission meetings so far this year.
Ah, all right.
I can
That'd
send
be
you a
great.
link to that.
Okay,
Appreciate it. Okay.
All right, everyone, have a good evening.
We
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
glad we
go-
had this discussion. So, anything else from anyone? Thanks a lot, Anna. I appreciate that update.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
move to adjourn.
Okay. All right. Second. All right. All in favor? All right. Meeting is now adjourned.